And hello everyone, and today we are reviewing the game called Cassette Beasts. I really like games with the demo of catching monsters, as I mentioned in other reviews, since I play a lot of Pokemon at the time. Although I won't lie, I still play it, and I've kept the attachment to the genre. That's why this title caught my attention, besides being a fan of Raw Fury, and I was more than happy to have the opportunity to give it a try. Cassette Beasts is an open-world RPG game and a monster catcher, which presents itself as a somewhat retro theme, and where we can assimilate their appearance and the power of mysterious creatures using a curious music recorder and cassettes. The story will revolve around the mysterious island New World, a place where we're able to shipwreck as soon as the game begins, and that hides the countless secrets across its lands. We'll take control of our character on the beach, and we wander around until we find out what seems to be a coastal town. But before we even set foot in it, a strange creature will get in our way, threatening to the end of our story abruptly. It will be here that we'll meet one of the various characters of this adventure, Kylie, an energetic girl who will come to our rescue, and who will teach us how to combat walks and gradually explain to us about this place and its inhabitants. New World seems to be a kind of dimension where travelers from different times and worlds have ended up, but who have in common that they don't know how to return to their homes. However, our character will be involved in several events that will lead him to have a clear goal, to find the way back. For this, it will be essential to use the skills that can be used in this island. The power to record creatures on cassettes in order to transform into them. With this power at our disposal, a variety of proteins of allies, and a powerful entity that will guide our way, we'll go through this adventure full of fun and neat moments. There's a lot to see, and little that I can tell, as I feel that you should go as blind as possible for greater enjoyment. It was a very entertaining story, and left me extremely satisfied, coming from beginning to end and with an ending but that touched me very much. In terms of gameplay, the title is presented as a typical RPG seen from above, in which we can explore the island almost without obstacles. Some places are more accessible than others, requiring specific skills to reach them, such as swimming or destroying rocks in our path. These skills are obtained by recording specific creatures, and I'll get around to explaining that topic. For now, I want to add that if you're resourceful, you can get anywhere. The combat is the classic turn-based style of the genre. We'll have two characters at the same time in battle, and both can switch to any of up to 6 creatures in the team. In the beginning we'll recruit Kylie, but we will also be able to meet other people who want to join our adventures. In addition, there are several companions, including the dog that uses the cassettes, and we'll have an affection of the system to increase an affinity with them. I always like this kind of detail, especially because reaching the maximum friendship can also result in romance. And what can I say? I'm a sucker for those little things. Apart from our companions, there are several other important NPCs, such as rangers, who try to safeguard the peace, and the inhabitants of the town of Harbor Town, who will give us missions, provide rammers to push in the world, or simply sell us objects. Now, let's move on to the creatures. In this universe, the monsters are recorded to the cassettes using a special music player, allowing us to create copies of them in which we can transform. A creative twist in my opinion, that marks the theme of the genre very well. Some of these monsters will give us special abilities for exploration, as I mentioned before, and many of them have evolutions, called remasters, that can be acquired by leveling up and other objectives, so it never hurts to record the ones we don't have. Each creature has an innate element, out of the 15 in the game, with its own strengths and weakness. Elemental advantages are somewhat peculiar, since they can create buffs or debuffs on the beasts. For example, wind exalts fire and lowers its attack, and water benefits plants by giving itself regeneration, among many other combinations. And speaking of combinations, we'll also have a fusion system, where we'll be able to set up to 14,400 variants, something that we could completion busy, no doubt. The fusions maintain the two elements of the units, and are performed between our character and their ally. This mechanic can be used by filling a specific battle to the max, and its effectiveness rises along with the affection with our companions, so get to socializing. I want to add that since we are the ones doing the fighting, changing creatures will not eliminate the buffs or debuffs, which can be both beneficial and negative. There's quite a lot of complexity and depth put into the combat system, especially with the stickers and the order in which we equip them. The stickers are the base, learned or push set skills that we give undertake of the monsters at will, allowing us to customize their attacks. In particular, it should be noted that the same skill can come in different ratios and with additional effects, which is awesome. At the same time, there is a wide variety of things to do while exploring, from puzzles and fights at end ranges, to resting in the benefits to recover the interact Firefly with our companions, for example. It really exceeded my expectations. It's a section that I found very robust and interesting. The artwork is represented with a very nice pixel style for both parts and the world itself, although the weather is rendered in more